Hello guys, good morning. I've literally just been woken up by my neighbour. He's just been like frantically banging on the wall and shouting abuse through it. He started getting worse with that. He does it early in the morning to try and wake me up now. He's stopped banging now. But like literally just before I started filming, he was going to town. I don't know what he was using, probably a rolling pin or I don't know, some kind of kitchen implement probably. And just going to town, banging on the wall frantically. It's okay though, because the recorder I have set up in the kitchen, a friend provided for me, that should have caught the banging and the abuse he shouted, so it's alright, he can carry on, because all the recordings I get I'm going to send to the police. I've already sent over a few. One of them I've sent them has some very clear audio of him shouting threats to kill and abuse. So once the police get through that and listen to that, they'll have the evidence they need to actually go and make an arrest. So yeah, like I have like a million other recordings from the recorder that I've got to go through, which I was gonna do in the last few days, but I've not been able to human. So I've just been sleeping for like 3 days straight, just about. I've been waking up and trying to move and trying to do stuff, but yeah, for some reason I can't. I'm just in bed all day sleeping mostly. Like I just don't have the energy to human. I'm gonna try and human today though. Try. Oh, my glasses. Excuse me a moment. I'll put my glasses on with one hand. So yeah, Rainbow Corner. That's what I call it. All my flags. Yeah, so hair is a mess this morning. I did some more dyeing on my hair yesterday. Managed to do that. A little, it's not brilliant, but it'll do. I tried to do it with the green and then blue and then purple, and the green and purple have kind of come out okay. It doesn't look like the blue has, but oh well, who cares? It's just hair. You probably can't hear him, but he just shouted some more abuse. I can just about hear him from here shouting. because I've got the kitchen door closed. Lately we just keep that closed now. We hardly ever go in the kitchen. Because, you know, every time we go in the kitchen, or most of the time when we go in the kitchen, he starts shouting abuse. So we try and avoid him shouting abuse at us. But he's caught on to that. So lately he just does it anyway. Yeah, so like even the bathroom now, like it was really creepy. The other week, I think it's last week, me and John were going out for the evening, so we were like, okay, we'll get ready. I went to have a shower, and whilst I was in the shower, creepy next door was in his shower. So basically our flats are like mirrored, they're right next to each other and they're mirrored. So his bathroom right next to my bathroom, his kitchen right next to my kitchen. It's sort of like a mirrored image. So yeah, he's in his bathroom. I believe he had climbed up and to listen through the vent. And then I could hear him banging on the wall and I could hear him shouting. And the shouting was quite clear. That's what makes me think he was shouting through the vent, because the wall in the bathroom is like solid concrete. I think it's sort of like 6 inches, or I don't know measurements, but it's a really thick, solid concrete wall. So someone trying to shout through that, you're not really going to hear much. So that's what makes me think he was shouting through the vent. Because there's like a big air vent system that runs through the bathrooms to carry any of the moisture or whatever out of the bathrooms, because there's no windows in there. Yeah, so, and there's like a little air vent fan thing. Yeah, and I think he's climbing up, listening through that and shouting through it. So yeah, he was listening to me take a shower and then banging on the wall and shouting. And some of the stuff he was shouting, he was calling me smelly, and I was like, really, dude? I'm taking a shower. Shut the fuck up. Excuse my language. Yeah, and then I come out of the shower and John went to take his shower whilst I was sat here getting dry and dressed and whatever. And whilst I was sat here, I could hear a strange noise in the hallway. And I thought, what the heck is that? Like, out in just outside our front door, the communal hallway. And I stopped and I listened, and I could hear someone up against my front door. Like, I could hear their hand on the front door moving around. And I could hear footsteps outside the front door. And I sort of looked through the peephole on the front door to see who was out there. I couldn't see anyone, but I could see shadow moving around on the opposite wall from my front door. So it's like there was someone out there. So it's like, right, okay, it might be the warden, because the warden comes around every day to mop the floors and stuff like that. And I was like, that's okay. But then all of a sudden I heard his front door open and then slam shut. And then I heard him banging on the wall in the bathroom and shouting. I think he was shouting at John because John was in the shower. I was like, okay. Then I heard next door again come out of his front door again, and he opened the fire door and slammed that, the one in the hallway. Then he was outside my front door again listening. He didn't even knock the door, nothing like that. He was just stood, I believe, trying to listen through my front door. Like, what are you listening for? And John come out of the bathroom and he goes to me, did you hear that? I was like, what, him shouting and that? And he goes, yeah, he was shouting and screaming and banging on the wall. I was like, yeah, that's not all he was doing. I goes, he was at the front door listening through the front door. And John was like, what? I was like, yeah, he was listening through the front door. I kind of made a joke with John. I goes, maybe that's it, John. Maybe he fancies you and he wants to get in the shower with you. And he just doesn't know how to ask like a civilized human. But yeah, like, it was really creepy. So yeah, we spoke to the police and the council again. They actually come out yesterday to speak with us. I was just in bed, but I could hear what was being said. John was speaking with them. Basically, still there's nothing they can do at the moment. They've not gone through the recordings properly yet that we sent them. But they need like the timestamps, so me and John are going to send those over to them so that they know what points in the recording to go to hear the neighbour shouting the threats. Because the recordings, some of them are quite long, so yeah. And we did say to them we can cut them down, so we can only send you the important bits. And they said, yeah, but that'll be editing it. And edited, it's no good in court and stuff like that. So we're like, okay, fair enough. We're like, some of them are like 7-8 hours long, but okay. So yeah, they've got like a 7-hour recording, mostly of me in the kitchen making cups of tea and John washing up. But then a few minutes of next door being a twat. Yeah, but yeah, and they stood talking to John for a while, the police and the council officer. And basically, John was trying to tell him what was going on, and basically they were just, camera's shaky, sorry, hands are shaky. I've been getting the shakes and muscle spasms, so yeah, but basically they were talking to John and he was trying to tell them what was happening and whatnot, and they were just sort of like gaslighting him. Like, oh, are you sure he's shouting at you? And John's like, sure as shit, yeah. He's shouting at us. And they're like, but are you sure he's shouting through the water? And John's like, yes, he is. And their solution was, we could maybe get someone out to insulate the larder cupboard, which is the cupboard he keeps going into to shout through, because it's like just a thin wall, really thin wooden wall. And the council were like, maybe we can come in and insulate that cupboard so that you won't be able to hear him. So, okay. Don't get me wrong, that might help a little bit. But how's that going to stop him coming to my front door and shouting abuse and banging on my front door? How's that going to stop him from coming to my front door and trying to listen to me take a shower? How's that going to stop him climbing up to the vent in the bathroom and shouting through it and listening to me take a shower and a poop? Yeah, he listens to me take a poop as well. The other day, I found a video on YouTube of fart noises. So I gave him something to listen to. Hope he enjoyed, because I did. It was quite funny. Yeah, so, like, and I was like, how's that going to stop him approaching me when I'm leaving my flat to go down in the lift? You know? It's not. So basically me and John feel like at the moment that the police and the council don't really take us seriously. They don't believe us. Because when they come round, he's quiet as a mouse. I mean, yesterday morning he was noisy before they came. I heard him banging and shouting. The night before he had been going nuts, banging and shouting. But they come round and he's quiet as a mouse, well behaved, nothing. The police officer even went in the kitchen to make some noise with the tap to see what would happen. And nothing. And then they were like, oh, well, he's not doing it now. And John was like, well, that's because you're here. He can hear you. You're talking quite loudly. He can hear you. He can hear the council officer. He can hear the police. He's spoken with the council officer several times before, so he probably recognises her voice. And when they knock the front door and come in, they were very loud in the hallway. So, like, he knew the police and the council officer were here, obviously. That's why he went quiet. But as soon as they left, he started again. So, like, they're like, oh, well, he's not doing it now. Because you're here. Like, So, like, at the moment, I'm just like, I don't really care anymore. Because they're not going to do anything about it unless something really bad happens. So I'm just like, I don't really care anymore. I'm just going to ignore him. And if he does come out and attack me when I'm in the hallway, then good, because then maybe that'll make the police actually do their job. You know, maybe that'll get something done, you know? So I'm just going to go about my daily life, screw him, screw the police, screw the council, you know, like, yeah, so that's what it's come to. I've actually got to get attacked for the police to do something. Apparently threats to kill aren't enough, you know? I mean, they've got the evidence there. So we sent them the best recordings we had, which have him very clearly shouting hateful language, which is a hate crime. And threats to kill. Very clear. Irrefutable evidence of him doing it. And John said to me, he goes, I bet you though, they're going to come back with some crappy reason why that evidence is no good. You know, they'll probably just say, oh, we can't hear it. Like when we had, a couple of weeks ago, we had a couple of police officers come out to speak to us. They were in the kitchen. I believe one of the council officers were here as well. They were in the kitchen. I believe John was showing them the microphone recorder thingy that our friend lent us. And they were stood right next to the larder cupboard. And Labour started shouting through the wall. John heard it clearly. And John said to the police officer, you hear that? And the police officer went, I heard something, I think it's TV. John went, no, that was him clearly shouting abuse. And the council officer, John said to the council officer, you heard it, didn't you? He goes, oh no, I'm deaf in that ear. So even though police officer was stood right next to the larder cupboard and heard our neighbour shout through it, abuse, he was like, oh no, I didn't hear anything, I think it was the TV. And John said, no, it wasn't the TV. John was telling me afterwards, he goes, it wasn't the TV. John would have played the recording back to him, but he had stopped recording temporarily to show the officers how this thing was working. So yeah. But yeah, it just got me that, because I was sat in here in the front room, I heard the neighbour shout. And the police officer was right next to the cupboard where the shouting was coming from. I was like, oh, I didn't hear it. It was the TV, I think. Like, it's like they're just deliberately trying not to do their job, you know? So, yeah, the police don't really care. Council officer doesn't care. They think me and John are paranoid and making this shit up. Even though we've shown them video evidence, we've sent them recordings, everything of this stuff happening. You know, and even when the neighbour was trying to break in through my front door, nothing was done. So I feel like they want the neighbour to carry out his threats, you know, and that's what I feel like. So it's really crazy. But yeah, like, I'm super tired. I just want to go back to bed, but I've actually got to get up and human. I want to get up and human. Like, I've got stuff to do today. Don't. It's annoying because I do want to get up and do stuff, but I don't. Like, So yeah, it's like, so it's like both chronic fatigue, my chronic illness, because like every year around this time, my chronic illnesses flare up, and I get the chronic hip pains and back pain, and I get chronic fatigue, and it's horrible. I believe it's like where the weather's changing, something to do with the air pressure, or something messes with my, I don't know. It's like I'm a walking weather vane or something, you know. He's shouting again. Yeah, mental health is obviously flaring up. Little bit to do with twat features next door, but mostly other stuff. Yeah. I don't know if you saw on the Chronically Suki Facebook page the other week, posted a picture. So yeah, I'm started to self-harm again. It's healing now, which is good. I used to self-harm when I was a teenager. And what I do is scratch at my skin, and I'll keep scratching and scratching and scratching, and even when it starts to bleed, I'll keep scratching, and it ends up going really deep and down into the muscle. Luckily this time it's not that bad. I've managed to try and stop myself before it's gotten too bad, but goodness, it's healing. I'll try and get a good camera angle. So yeah, it's healing, and if you heard a bang, then that was him next door. But yeah, it's healing, which is good. But yeah, it's like I lose control and I can't stop itching. Sometimes I don't even realise that I'm scratching it. There's not even an itch there. You know, it's just like a compulsion to scratch. And usually when I'm like super anxious, that happens. That when I was a teenager, that happened around the time that my mum passed away, and then my nan passed away, both from cancer. So it was like, and then I ended up homeless and stuff like that, and sort of bumming around with friends and family and living in a tent and stuff. Yeah, so like I was going through a lot of anxiety back then and a lot of stress. So I think that's why. And now I guess my anxiety and stress levels have reached that point again. So yeah, like but it's healing, and I've managed to stop myself. John's been helping as well. He tells me off every time he sees me like scratching. So yeah. is annoying though, because like I've got to sort of like put into action some of the cognitive behavioural therapy stuff I learn the triggers and learn other coping mechanisms. Yeah, the triggers, my living situation, my whole goddamn life. There you go. What's the fix for that? Living situation, move house. Yeah, I'm trying to. That takes time. My whole life. Well, I'm not even going to go into the solution for that because, yeah. But, yeah, so that's currently what's happening. And I'm scratching again. Jesus Christ. See, talking about it has made the compulsion stronger. And I'm like, oh, yes. No, don't scratch. Stop scratching. I'm going to have to start wearing like mittens and stuff like that. Sorry, I keep getting distracted by the cat's water fountain. He's making a trickling noise. It's just... But yeah, I'm gonna try and get a cup of tea, because I haven't had a cup of tea in over a week. Which is crazy. I haven't really drunk anything or eaten anything in the last 3 days. So I'm probably going to need to drink something at least. I just haven't been able to with food. Just at the moment, food's just too overwhelming and too just... I could, like, John got us some chips from the chippy. I believe it was not yesterday, the day before. And like, I had a couple of chips and that was it. I could not. But to be fair, they were quite disgusting. We tried a new chippy because the one we usually go to was closed. So we tried a new chippy and yeah, never going there again. They don't know how to make a chip butty. How can you like run a chippy and not know how to make a chip butty? Like, everyone knows you use a giant bap, you smother it in butter, and then you stick salty chips in it, hot salty chips, so the butter melts. And when you eat it, you get all buttery grease dripping out the bottom. That's a chip butty. I don't know what it was they sent me yesterday. Not yesterday, the day before. Like, seriously. It's like a piddly little tiny roll. Hardly any butter on it. And it wasn't even like... The chips weren't even put into it. It was just thrown into the bag. Into the chip bag with the chips. Like... And the chips were cold. And stale. Yuck. But yeah, so like, I just can't with food at the moment. I keep trying to eat, but I just feel ill every time I do. Like, literally, physically gag every time I try and eat. So yeah, I've got to try and... If I don't start eating properly soon, though, I've got to go see the doctor about it and whatnot. Probably get sent to see a dietitian or some crap. Are they going to tell me how to eat healthily? I know how to eat healthily. I know how to cook food. It's just my body just doesn't want it at the moment. It's just, I can't eat. So, yeah. I go through stages like this where I just, like, food just horrifies me. And it makes me extremely anxious. And that's so, like, I just can't deal with it, and so I just don't eat. Probably another reason why I'm getting the shakes and stuff, because I'm not eating. My blood sugar's probably really low, but yeah, I'm gonna stop bugging you now, and I'm gonna go and make a cup of tea, try and get something to eat, and then join a human today. So yeah, but yeah, this was just another random little vlog. But yeah, I shall probably speak to you all later. I'm still got to work on that Road 96 video. I kind of started it, but then, yeah, life happened and I had to pause it on editing it. So it will be coming soon, hopefully. Just, yeah. I need a butler or something. Just hire a butler, get them to do all my video editing for me. Because I have quite a few videos that I've got to edit. And a couple of videos I've still got to shoot for different games and stuff. I've got one in the plans for Slime Rancher. Obviously I've got more in the works for Minecraft. And Fallout 76. Yeah, like those games. So yeah. But anyway, I was supposed to be going when I started chatting again. Just tell me to shut up and go away. It's fine. I'm getting annoyed now. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'm going to get a cup of tea. I shall speak to you all later. Bye bye.